Welcome back to Herp Herp Hooray, a weekly internet transmission where we are simulcasting on RossiReptiles.com, Buzzsprout, and don't forget to subscribe and download us on iTunes. This week, guests produced some of the most outstanding ball python combos I can think of. His projects will make your head spin. This season, I'm sure, will be no different. Introducing the person who brought you the Orange Dream Ball Python project, I'm pleased to announce Herp Herp Hooray's very special guest, Oz, from OzzyBoys.com. Oz, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jason. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the kind words, and hopefully I can live up to your expectations this season.
Man, I'll tell you what, looking at what you've done in the past, it's not going to be too hard, man. Like, seriously, like, you got to really think when you're talking about some of your pairings and what you got going on and what your possibilities are.
Yeah, and there's definitely a little luck involved too. So I'm just hoping, I'm hoping I just get good odds this season, you know, just like everybody else.
Well, may the odds gods be with you. So why don't you give our listeners a little history of the Orange Dream project?
All right. Well, years ago when I was starting out, I would pick up animals. I think it was my first purchase from Ian from Outback Reptiles, and I spent about $7,500, and I was buying orange ghost, some albino stuff. You know, it was a nice little package, and Ian would bring in a lot of stuff from Africa. He would get some really nice shipments in from Africa. He actually flew over there, so he had some guys set up over there, and he had some really good contacts over there. So, you know, I spent a nice chunk of change with him, and he threw in, you know, a free captive hatch female, a nice female. At the time, he just called it a nice bandit, you know, a fancy bandit. And so I got the female, and she was still in shed, and, you know, she shed and started to feed, and right away I, you know, noticed something different about her. She didn't look like a typical bandit. I mean, you know, I used to see a lot of fancy ball pythons come through, and she just looked different. Of course, at the time, I didn't know, you know, for sure. You know, it was a subtle, definitely the Orange Dream is kind of a subtle mutation. So I raised her up. I think that was 2000 and I want to say 2002, I believe, when I got her. And I raised her up, and you know, and she was just a gorgeous snake. And when I first bred her, I believe it was 2004, she gave me 4 eggs. She was still small, you know. She gave me 4 eggs. And 2 of the eggs, when they all hatched, 2 of the snakes came out looking exactly like Mom, and I knew for certain that it was genetic. And, you know, at that point, I just had to figure out if there was a super or, you know, what other, you know, potential that the mutation had. And, you know, the next year she took that year off, and eventually I got the male up to size, and he bred, and, you know, it was a lot of time and effort to bring the project to where it's at now.
Awesome, and you've done an outstanding job doing it, sir. Let's keep it Orange Dream. How about go about making the Super Dream Fire Bee?
Yeah, so I had attempted, over the years, to make a Super Orange Dream on multiple occasions. I figured it was, you know, dominant. I proved it dominant, and I was trying to attempt to see if it was an incomplete dominant and if there was a super form. And I believe I had about, I want to say, 3 separate clutches where I bred Orange Dream to Orange Dream, and they were all small clutches, you know, 5-egg clutches, 6-egg clutches, you know, and in 2 of the clutches, a couple of the eggs went bad. And so, you know, when all was said and done, I hatched out about 14 eggs and no supers. So I figured at that point, you know, that there probably wasn't a super, and with a couple of the eggs going bad, You know, I even had it in the back of my head, you know, maybe there's a lethal gene or whatever. So I kind of gave up on the super. And then last year, I bred an Orange Dream Fire to a Yellow Belly Dream Bee female. And I also bred that same Orange Dream Fire male to an Orange Dream Yellow Belly female. And the first clutch was the Dream Bee, the Yellow Belly Dream Bee female's clutch was the first clutch to hatch, and it just blew me away. And I knew that there was still a possibility that there might be a super, and that's what I told my customers. I was like, you know, I don't think there is, but there is still a possibility. Maybe I just had really bad luck. And turns out that was the situation, you know. In that first clutch, I actually hatched out 3 supers. I had a regular super Orange Dream. I had the super Dream Bee Fire, and then I had a super Orange Dream Fire, and then with the second clutch, where I bred the same Orange Dream Fire to an Orange Dream Yellow Belly, I hatched out 2 more supers. I was fortunate enough to hatch out a super Orange Dream Yellow Belly and a super Orange Dream Yellow Belly Fire. So that was pretty exciting. And I had a lot of confidence at that point with the supers and what I was actually looking at, because I got a nice mix of different combinations. So I was able to tell them apart. And I actually thought I had 6 supers because I hatched out an Orange Dream Yellow Belly Fire, and that's just a gorgeous snake. That snake ended up going to Bill Brandt, Gourmet Rodent. But that snake, when that snake hatched out, it just blew me away. But as they shed, and I started to compare them, and I figured out what I had, and he was actually an Orange Dream Yellow Belly Fire. And I held back the super Orange Dream Yellow Belly female. I think if you're on Bush League, you probably saw me post pictures of her recently.
Yes, sir. So tell us how you felt when you got that Orange Dream Yellow Belly banana.
Oh, I was just I was floored with the bananas. I mean, I remember when they hatched out. And I was looking at them, and they all look different. Of course, the baby bananas are just simply gorgeous. And I think I had, I want to say it was a 7-egg clutch or a 6-egg clutch or something. So I was really lucky to hatch out 4 bananas. And then when I started sexing them, I just, I couldn't believe it. I mean, the first 3 bananas I sexed were all males. And when I went to sex the 4th one, I was like, there's no way that, but at that point I was happy. I was looking for one male, I knew if I didn't hatch out a male, I'd probably have to go out and buy one. So I was really happy to hatch out a male. And then I just kept sexing them, and just another male and another male. And they all look different. The two of the males, they look a lot alike, and I'm pretty confident that those 2 males are Orange Dream bananas. I mean, they're gorgeous right now as adults. The color is just insane. And then Orange Dream Yellow Belly, definitely. I mean, that banana was definitely Yellow Belly, and looking at the pattern and some of the color, he looks a lot like my Orange Dream Yellow Bellies. So we'll see with him, because he bred quite a few females for me this season. So I should definitely confirm whether or not he has that Orange Dream in him. But again, some of this stuff, it comes with time, But comparing those snakes to the female, which I believe was a straight-up banana, they just look completely different. So I'm pretty confident that they're Orange Dream bananas.
Sweet. So the Super Pastel Candy, man, this thing is awesome. Why don't you describe that and tell us how you came about that?
Yeah, so that male super pastel candy, I picked up that snake leaving 2010. I picked that snake up. I got that snake from Neil McCrum, who he bought the original candy that came. Ian imported the original candy male, as well as the original toffee male. And Neil picked up that male from Ian. And eventually he sold the project to Pete Call, but he still held back some offspring. And it was Neil who produced that male. And we were at the Chicago show, and he came to my table and he was showing it to me, and he had another what I believe to be a pastel candy. He's pretty confident that they were a pair of super pastel candies, but I ended up picking up the male in 2010, and I tried to breed him last year as a young male. Usually I don't push my young males too hard, so I only bred him to an in-sheep hide female, and was just hoping that that clutch would come through. That would be a pretty bad clutch, but she didn't take. You know how pied females are. She's not quite five or 6 years old yet, so so she didn't take. But yeah, that super pastel candy, man, he's nice. I'm really excited about that project. When I heard about the albino compatibility thing, I was a little disappointed. I spent a lot of money on that guy, and I think the albino candy compatibility thing, I think it's pretty exciting. I think it's interesting purely from a breeder standpoint or from a hobbyist standpoint. I think it's pretty cool that the albino and the candy and the toffee genes can combine like that. But from an investment standpoint, it was definitely a blow and a little disappointing. But I'm still excited to be working with the project, and I think once we get all of the facts straight, I think the pricing will sort out, and I think it's going to be a cool project. I think it's going to really generate a lot of cool combinations in the future.
So is that where they were a little upset on the forums there when you sold a couple males? Is that the same incident?
No, are you talking about the bananas?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The banana drama was when I hatched out the 3 males, I posted on Bush League, and there was a lot of drama like right away. With emails, people were calling me and saying this person is saying this and this person is saying that. It was just a lot of negativity, and I think if you look at what usually occurs with the banana market, people don't really advertise how many males they hatch out or anything like that. There's quite a few people producing bananas right now. You'd be hard pressed to find out who's producing what or how many males are really out there. So I guess when I posted my results, some people got upset because I don't know. I don't know how people think or how they operate, but that's really not my style. At the end of the day, this is a hobby business for me, and I post my results, and whoever doesn't like it, they're just going to have to deal with it. And if people want to practice secrecy or not reveal how many animals they may have or what they're working with, then that's their choice. You know what I mean? But it's not how I operate, and I'm going to do as I please. So that's basically it in a nutshell. I could definitely get into more detail, but I'd rather not focus on that. I'd rather just kind of focus on the animals and just try to produce some cool combinations this season.
Well, the proof is in the pudding, and what you see is what you get from Mr. Ozzy Boyd. So you say you don't breed males too small, so what size do you normally start them off?
Well, I'll breed young males. I mean, I did it. Obviously, I did it this year with the banana OD yellow belly male. But you could really hurt a young male if you push him too hard his first year. On occasion, you'll get a male that will breed and continue to eat. If you have a young male that's breeding and at the same time they stop eating, I mean, you really have to take a step back and not breed that male too much, because they'll really lose weight real fast. And young males haven't had the chance to really build that muscle mass, so they can really deteriorate really, really fast. So, typically, I'll try a young male once he hits the 600-gram mark. I know people breed them younger, but I never try a young male at the 600-gram mark, under the 600-gram mark personally. That's just me. And with my bananas, I mean, that banana clutch that I hatched last year, they did great. I mean, they were eating right out of the gate. They were pounding rats. They were growing fast. The female, when I sold the female, I think she was 900 grams. And I sold her in the winter. And the guy I sold it to asked me to hold her until spring, until it got warm. So I held her for, 2 or 3 months for the guy. And when I shipped her, she was well over 1,200 grams. I mean, I kept feeding her form. She was well over 1,200 grams when I shipped her. My banana OD yellow belly male, when he started breeding, he was like 800 grams. So I was comfortable breeding him, and he kept eating. I mean, he was breeding and he was eating. He's fasted now, and now he weighs I think he's at 675 or whatever, but he's nice and healthy. He's nice and strong, so I was okay with breeding him. And then the other male, I held him back and, kind of as like a backup, and figured, I could use him. I could start him early this season and then bring the orange dream yellow belly male in later on in the season. But you got to be careful with young males. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. You could really damage a young male if you push him too hard in his first year.
Words of wisdom. So do you feed frozen thaw or live?
Do I feed live?
Live or frozen thaw, yeah.
I feed my ball pythons live. I don't feed my ball pythons frozen thaw.
So how's your season going this year?
Season is going good. As usual, there's a lot of ups and downs. But season is looking good. I got some good production, some good projects in the works. I just hatched out my first clutch yesterday. It was from Orange Dream Enchi to an Orange Dream Yellow Belly. So I was shooting for the Super Orange Dream Yellow Belly Enchi. I was hoping for a male. Unfortunately, I missed. But it's a pretty cool clutch. Again, I'm just staring at the clutch and I'm just trying to figure out what I got. It definitely looks like I have a triple with the Orange Dream Enchi Yellow Belly, and the snake is it glows. It's a real pretty snake. I'm just waiting for them to shed out. And also, it looks like I have an Orange Dream Enchi in the mix, or Orange Dream Yellow Belly. So I got some nice Orange Dreams in there. Also, looks like I hit. I may have hatched out a straight up Yellow Belly and a straight up normal in the clutch. So that tells me that the Orange Dream and the Enchi are not on the same allele, which not the same allele, but on the same allele location, because I was a little nervous about that. I wasn't sure if they were allelic and if I would get all Orange Dreams and all Enchis. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the fact that I hatched out what looks like a Yellow Belly and a normal in a clutch tells me that they're not on the same allele, because the Orange Dream and Enchi do have a lot of similarities, and they act the same in some instances with certain mutations as far as patterns and stuff like that. But the color is definitely different. But I was just I was wondering about that, and to me that's good news. That means I can make a Super Orange Dream Enchi eventually.
Would you say it cleans up the snake more than Enchi?
I think so. I think the difference between the Enchi and Orange Dream is the color, and I think the Orange Dream really adds a lot of orange color. It keeps the black, inky black, which I think is a really good feature. I mean, unlike some of the other mutations out there, like like the pastel gene. The pastel gene is very versatile, but once you get 4 or 5 genes in a mix, the pastel crosses all begin to look the same. They all begin to fade out and get really, really light. Whereas this Orange Dream gene is gonna infuse the combinations with color. So I think once you start getting into the 4 or 5 gene combinations, and especially with the Super Orange Dream, I think you'll have the ability to really infuse a lot of bright orange coloration and really clean it up. So I'm excited. I think it's a really cool gene, and I think it's very, very versatile, and can be combined with almost anything out there to make it better. So I think the future is going to be exciting. I think a lot of other breeders are really starting to notice, and they're really starting to buy into the project and work with the genes. So we're going to really start to see some cool Orange Dream stuff coming out for the next few years.
All right, so switching up speeds. What don't you have going that's Orange Dream this year?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that I'm not doing with the Orange Dream. Again, like I said, I mean, you could combine this stuff into almost anything. I'm really disappointed to say that I haven't produced any Orange Dream het clowns yet. I'm working on it. I should be hatching out some Orange Dream Yellow Belly het for Desert Ghost this season, but I haven't done the clown yet. I'm doing the pied. I haven't done the genetic stripe yet. I have Orange Dream female that's gravid from a Champagne, so that should be cool. I think the Super Orange Dream Champagne will be a nice snake, and it may add pattern. Looking at what the Enchi did with the Champagne, I think the Orange Dream is going to behave in a similar way, but I think it's going to be more colorful. So that should be pretty exciting. What else? There's so much. I mean, the GHI Orange Dream. I think somebody's going to be doing that this season. Definitely not going to be me. I'm trying to think what else. There's a lot of new mutations out there, like Gary Leeson's Trick, the Matt Osweiler. I think that LLT. So there's just a ton of stuff, man. There's stuff that I can't even think of right now that I know I'm not doing. I know other breeders may be getting into it. I think some of the other recessives. I'm just trying to think. I'm doing albino. I'm doing ghost. I don't know. Can you think of anything else? What's that?
Pied. You're doing pied.
Yep. Doing pied. Doing the desert ghost. But again, I don't have any genetic stripe stuff. I don't have any phantom stuff. I think the phantom would be cool. Definitely doing the banana thing. Super stripe. I think it's going to look really good with the Puma. I think it's going to look amazing with the Highway. I'm not doing that. I bought a Puma male this past season for that reason, but again, he's a young male. He's approaching 600 grams, and I didn't breed him this season. So maybe next season I have a Spark female too that I could use. So maybe next season I could produce some Orange Dream Puma stuff, but once you make the Orange Dream, then there's the Super. So, but I think the Highway Orange Dream is going to be pretty badass, and I think Bill Brandt will probably be the first to produce that since he picked up that male from me last year. Yeah, that's all I could think of right now off the top of my head. But I'm pretty sure that I'm missing a lot of stuff. You know how it is.
Well, just think, we're just scratching the surface of what can be done. It's going to be crazy here in the future.
Yeah, it really is. I just really think the ball python market is really exciting. And I think the combos and the mutations in the future, they're just going to be amazing. There's going to be crazy. There's crazy stuff being produced right now, but I think it's just going to keep getting better and better. And it's exciting, man. I've been doing it. This is my 10th year in business as Ozzy Boys. I mean, I've been doing it a little longer, but this is my 10th year in business, 10th year anniversary, and I'm just as excited as I was 10 years ago. And, I can't wait for some of these clutches to hatch out. Pretty cool.
Congrats on making it 10 years, man. So if people want to get out and see you in person and see these cool-ass snakes you got, what shows do you vend so they can come out and see them in person?
Yeah, so I've been really, the past year I've been really busy. I haven't had a chance to get out much, but definitely this year you guys will see me out and about. This season I'll be at the Myrtle Beach show. That's next month, August 11th and 12th. The Myrtle Beach show is really going to take off. I've been hearing a lot of positive things, and so I definitely want to get down there and support them. And I love Myrtle Beach. It's a great place to hang out. Love the beach. Great fishing. So I'll be at the Myrtle Beach show. In September, I'll be at the Baltimore show in Replicon. It's a little small show, but, it's close. And, I'll definitely be getting out to that show and, displaying some animals. Then, of course, it's Tinley. Tinley is my favorite show. I love Chicago, and I just love the Tinley show, man. If anybody who's listening, if they haven't gotten out to the Tinley show, I really recommend it. It's just a classy show. Brian and Bob, they put on a great show, and they really know how to treat the vendors, and it's just always a positive vibe and a lot of cool snakes. It's that time of the year where everybody's already hatched everything out, so there's always, a lot of cool, amazing snakes and a lot of good deals to be had. So definitely you'll see me at Tinley this year.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to Brian, try to get him on the show. I haven't personally made it out there, but I always hear good things about the show.
Yeah, I highly recommend it, man. And just hanging out in Chicago in the city, man. The city is just amazing. There's a lot of great places to eat, and it's just a beautiful city, man. Real clean. I love it. I'm looking forward to that show. It's like a little mini vacation for me. So, definitely.
A little time off for Mr. Ozzy Boyd.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, we're going to switch it up again. So what do you feel U.S. ARC and the reptile community need to do to battle all this legislation that's coming at us constantly, it seems?
So I think first of all, I think USARC has done a phenomenal job. I remember first seeing them, down in Daytona, and I was a little skeptical, but I think Andrew Wyatt has done an amazing job. I think we're very lucky to have him as a spokesman, and I think USARC knows exactly what to do. They're on track. I love their game plan. I love the approach that they're taking. I love the way Andrew represents himself and how he represents the Reptile Nation. And I think what we need to do is we need to get behind USARC. I think every breeder, every hobbyist out there, we all need to volunteer, or we all need to donate a little bit of money. Whatever you have, even if it's a couple of bucks. Right now they're trying to raise money to bring a lawsuit against this Lacey Act listing of these 4 constrictors. And I think we have a very strong case. We have a really solid case. And what was done was, it was just a shame what the Department of Interior did. It was flagrant. It was just, it's illegal. And passing that law, it's a joke. It's being pushed by the animal rights groups. And a lot of these guys that helped them get this law through that are working for the government right now, you'll see they'll leave the government, in another year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever, and they'll get a cushy job working for, for the Humane Society of the U.S. or something, or for one of these animal rights groups, making $250,000 a year or whatever. It's pure corruption. And the law was based on, just a bunch of misinformation and a bunch of exaggerations and stuff like that. And it's really not going to do anything to help the Everglades whatsoever. I mean, there's Burmese pythons in the Everglades, and yes, that's sad, and yes, we should work to remove them, but they're really not having as much of an impact as, say, development or all the condos that are going up down there. Those are the real issues that are impacting the Everglades, but they're just, hyping things up and putting out all of this misinformation to try to pass these laws to essentially, shut us down as an industry. And I don't care if you keep geckos, if you keep bearded dragons, I don't care what kind of animals you keep, this law is a threat to you. Because they'll just start chipping away. And eventually, they ban all of these constrictors. Do you think a company like FedEx or Delta Dash or something like that can differentiate between a Burmese python and a ball python? They don't know. All that stuff looks the same. So if they start to come down on these companies for potentially shipping, illegal snakes, they're just going to stop shipping everything. And how would that impact the ball python industry or the corn snake industry or, hognose or whatever? So I think the entire reptile community needs to come together, get behind USARC, help them raise as much money as possible, and we really need to unite and demonstrate that we're not just going to lay down and take this kind of BS, that we're going to fight back, and that we care about our rights. You know what I mean? So, that's my recommendation. If you keep reptiles, if you like reptiles, join USARC. If you're a reptile breeder and you have a legitimate business, join USARC and also join PJAC. We need to get behind PJAC too. It's not just USARC. I don't want to pick one over the other. I think we need to support both organizations, and I think both organizations will represent us, and especially as the membership grows. So we really need to get behind those organizations, and even if it's $50, $20, $10, whatever you have, get on there and donate. They're trying to raise $250,000 to take these guys to court and try to reverse this bogus Lacey Act listing. So that's my recommendation. That's what I hope everybody does. And I support USARC. I'm definitely a USARC member, and I try to donate cash and animals whenever I can. So hopefully everybody else follows suit.
And people need to realize they're not going to stop at reptiles. We're just being singled out right now, and they're just going to picking off, different species one by one, and they're not going to stop unless we stop them.
No, these guys, these animal rights groups, they just want to end pet ownership as a whole. I mean, they view us as an easy target. They feel like we can't organize, we can't unite, and we can't mount a response. And, up until USARC, we really didn't have any representation. But, USARC has done a really good job with, trying to prevent some of these laws, but we really need to organize. We need to make USARC stronger, bigger, and you need money. That's what it boils down to. You need money. And I don't think anybody should hesitate with donating money to USARC. Andrew works his tail off. And I think his commitment to the reptile nation is, it's so obvious. I mean, that he's so committed to the cause, and he's so committed to helping our industry and helping us keep our freedoms and keep our rights. So, we got to get behind you, Sark, man, 100%.
So what do you think about the suggestion of making smaller groups, in each state? Each state has its representative, so we can keep
I think
everyone right.
Yeah, I think that's necessary too, because they're starting to, go to all of these local governments and just try to, they know that Andrew can't do it by himself. So yes, again, like I said, we need to get bigger and stronger, and we need to get organized, and we need to be able to fight the legislation on a state level as well as on a national level. And it's really important for everybody who's breeding or selling snakes, take the time to do it right. Play by the rules. Don't get yourself caught up in anything illegal or anything like that. Remember, we're all representing the industry as a whole. So, reptile keepers and snake breeders and stuff like that, tend to be viewed in a negative light. We tend to be stereotyped. So, we need to show that, that's not the case. There's a lot of, honest, hardworking, taxpayers who are responsible, who take good care of their animals, and conduct themselves in a legitimate, professional manner. We pay taxes. We're good for the economy. We're not bad for the economy. You got a lot of people overseas that want to spend money with us and buy our animals, and, we're bringing all this income into the country rather than, importing everything. We're actually exporting something, and we could generate a lot of money. We could generate a lot of tax dollars. We could create jobs. So, it's real important to conduct yourself in a professional manner, conduct yourself, legally, do everything the right way, so I think overall we need to grow our industry. I think our industry is growing. The reptiles portion of the pet industry is it's blowing up. And we need to protect that. We really need to organize, so that future generations can breed snakes if they want and collect snakes and enjoy their reptiles the way we're enjoying them now. I mean, you can't take these freedoms for granted, because if you do, you'll lose them. It's only a matter of time.
Freedom isn't free, man.
Exactly.
So, again, I would like to thank you for being a guest. Hopefully you'll be back for another show.
Yeah, anytime, man. I love talking snakes. Love talking about the reptiles, and, best of luck with the show. And big shout-out to the entire Reptile Nation. I'm excited to see what everybody's going to do this season, and look forward to seeing everybody out at the shows.
Thanks again. Make sure to check out Oz. He has a lot of stuff going on over on his website, www.ozzyvoids.com. All right, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Her Parade. Don't forget to subscribe and comment on iTunes, as always, live on Her Parade, buzzsprout.com or rossyreptiles.com. Her Parade, out.